WVNG Ed Talks, a simple discussion about sometimes complex military education benefits. I'm Dr. Sherri Shafer, Education Services Officer for the West Virginia National Guard. Joining me today is Sergeant First Class Ramona Grant, NCOIC, Federal Tuition Assistance Manager and Credentialing Assistance Manager for the West Virginia National Guard. Sergeant Grant, you wear a lot of proverbial hats. Yes?
Comes with age.
It comes with, okay. How long have you been in the military?
Not
that I'm trying to age you, but how long?
All time total, it's been over 26 years.
26 years. And you have changed branches, correct?
That is correct. I started out active duty Air Force, and I spent several years in the Army Reserves before I joined the National Guard in 2005.
So you know a little something then about JST and CCAF. For those that don't know, JST is the Joint Services Transcript and CCAF is the Community College of the Air Force Transcript. In your mind, what is the biggest difference between both forms of transcripts in terms of the military and those that serve and earn them, so to speak?
So since I joined the Air Force first, I'll talk about CCAF. When I was in the Air Force, I was an aerospace controls and early warning systems operator. If I had stayed in the Air Force, and this pertains to enlisted members, they take your military specialty. And with future training in the Air Force, I could have earned an associate's degree centered around that specialty. The Joint Service Transcript is a little different. The Army used to have what was called the Arts Transcript, which was specific to the Army, and each branch had their own. What Joint Service Transcript said was join all branches. And even if you get out as a veteran, you can still get a copy of your JST. In the military, we have a lot of lingo. We have specialties that you could talk to friends, family, spouse, future employers, schools, and to give you kind of a glazed look. They don't know what we're talking about. So the Joint Service Transcript takes the military training and bridges that gap between the military branches and the civilian world. It takes our training and puts it in a simple language that without lingo, they can understand. And if they can understand it, they can give us credit for what we've done. And if you're like me, been in for a long time, my transcript has a lot on it, and employers or schools can look at that and give me credit for it and say, hey, that's awesome. You've got a lot you bring to the table. I understand this. And that's the biggest thing about the Joint Service Transcript.
So the intent in our office is to review the JST and the CCAF in an attempt to discern an alignment with a degree program, if possible, for our service members. Within the last year in the West Virginia National Guard, roughly 21 to 27%, depending on the semester, of our service members were able to save around 13 credit hours, give or take. Basically, a full term. It's, essentially that's what that means, because if you're 12 hours per term, just from transcript reviews and applying what credits our service members have already earned while they're serving in uniform and training. Sergeant First Class Grant, I'm going to go off on a sidebar for just a second, but stay with me on this. Talk to me a little bit about how expectations have changed in regard to education and promotion and retention over the years. Was it always like it is now, where it's important or valuable for retention and promotion to have that education under your belt going into those situations? Or has it changed?
When I was in the Air Force, it has changed significantly for the Army. The Air Force, I don't know currently. I can speak past. Education and attaining that training was crucial in your promotion and where you were going to go in the Air Force. If you don't have it, they're not going to keep you. My nephew is active duty Air Force, and even he had to finish his degree while he was in to be able to be retained. Because if you don't have it, you're not going to get promoted. The Army over the years, have looked more on the education and longevity. So with retention boards, as you go through your military career, it has become crucial to stand out and stand above overall from your peers, so that you're the one they're going to promote and you're the one that is going to be retained.
And so linking that back to the JST and the CCAF transcript, would you say service members possibly utilizing credits they've already earned through the military is valuable?
Very. We bring a unique skill set to the table that you otherwise wouldn't have. And with the JST, it's something that it can be quantified at that point, so people can see what we do.
So if a soldier or airman is considering going to school, and by that I mean higher education after high school, what should be the first steps in terms of their military training and transcripts? So you've got this JST.
Honestly, download an unofficial. Yep, I was going to say download an unofficial transcript. Make sure it's correct. If it's not correct, get it corrected.
And
sometimes it's as simple as going through your unit and making sure your training's been documented in your military career.
And is this a one-time and done process, or is it something that service members should review periodically?
It should be periodic.
Why is that?
Each year changes. You go to different schools, you complete different training, you may be in a different position. All of that equates to changes in your JST.
So you've downloaded it, you've checked it, everything looks good. Now what? What do you do with that? I know what they do in our office, but if they don't bring it to me, and I'm usually the one that reviews these things, what do they do?
If they do not bring it to you, then they need to go out to the Joint Service Transcript website. The easiest thing to do is just Google Joint Service Transcript, JST, it'll bring it up. Go through and follow the prompts to request an official JST they sent to your school. The schools are listed in the website. If it is not, then there's also a link that you can go to get that school involved, so that they will receive an official Joint Service Transcript so that you can get credit for your training.
Right, and it is surprising, like I said earlier, 21 to 27% of our soldiers and airmen in West Virginia alone are saving a tremendous amount of time and money in school, almost a full semester, when it comes to what they've already brought to the table just from their training. Do you have any last words of wisdom as it pertains to the JST or the CCAF?
In all honesty, download it, review it, send the transcripts to your school. Why waste your time? I mean, your time is valuable between drill work and going to school. If you can save yourself, 6 months of training, hey, that's a win-win situation. You're saving money and time.
Sergeant First Class Grant, if I could talk, that would be a good help, wouldn't it? Thank you so much for being here. Join us next time on WVNG Ed Talks, where we discuss making the grade. It's a lot like rocket science. WVNG Ed Talks. Tune in, turn it up, and join the conversation.